Psalm chapter 70 for the music director of David for a memorial. O God, come quickly to deliver me, Adonai, to help me. May they be put to shame and disgrace who seek my life. May they be turned back in humiliation who delight in my hurt. May those who say, Aha, aha, be turned away because of their shame. But may all who seek you rejoice and be glad in you. May those who love your salvation always say, Let God be magnified. But I am poor and needy. God, come quickly to me. You are my help and my deliverer. Adonai, do not delay. Chapter 71. In you, Adonai, have I taken refuge. Let me never be ashamed. Deliver me and rescue me in your justice. Turn your ear to me and save me. Be to me a sheltering rock where I may also always go. Give the command to save me, for you are my rock and my fortress. My God, rescue me out of the hand of the wicked, out of the grasp of an evil, ruthless man. For you are my hope, my God, Adonai, my Lord, my trust from my youth. From my birth I have leaned on you. You took me out of my mother's womb. My praise is always about you. I am like an ominous sign to many, but you are my strong refuge. My mouth is filled with your praise and with your glory all day. Do not cast me away in the time of old age. When my strength fails, do not forsake me. For my enemies speak against me. Those who watch for my soul conspire together, saying, God has forsaken him. Pursue and take him, for no one will deliver. O God, be not far from me. My God, come quickly to help me. Your adversaries have roared in the midst of your meeting place. They have set up their standards as signs. It seemed like bringing up axes into a thicket of trees, and now all its carved work they smash with hatchets and hammers. They set your sanctuary on fire, burning it to the ground. They defile the dwelling place of your name. They said in their hearts, Let us crush them totally. They burn down all the meeting places of God in the land. We do not see our signs. No longer is there any prophet, and no one among us knows how long. How long, O God, will the adversary mock? Will the enemy revile your name forever? Why do you hold back your hand, your right hand? Draw it out of your bosom and consume them. Yet God is my King of old, working salvation in the midst of the land. You split the sea with your power. You smashed the monster's heads in the waters. You crushed the heads of Leviathan, giving him as food to the desert dwellers. You opened up spring and brook. You dried up every flowing rivers. The day is yours, the night also is yours. You provided moon and sun. You set all the borders of earth. You made summer and winter. Remember how the enemy mocked Adonai, and how foolish people despised your name. Do not deliver your turtle dove's soul to the wild beast. Do not forget the life of your afflicted ones forever. Look upon the covenant, for haunts of violence fill the dark places of earth. Do not let the oppressed turn back in shame, but let the poor and needy praise your name. Rise up, O God, and defend your cause. Remember how the fool mocks you all day. Do not forget the noise of your foes, the uproar of those rising up against you, ascending continually. Chapter 75 for the music director, Do Not Destroy. A psalm of Asaph, a song. We praise you, we praise God, for your name is near. People declare your wonders. When I appoint a set time, I myself will judge uprightly. When the earth wavers with living on it, I myself hold its pillars firm. Selah. I say to the arrogant, no more boasting, and to the wicked, do not be lifting up your horn. Do not lift your horn up high, do not speak with outstretched neck, for exaltation comes from comes not from the east, nor from the west, nor even from the desert. For God is the judge. He lowers one and lifts up another. For in the hand of Adonai is a cup of foaming wine mixed with spices, and he pours it out. Surely all the wicked of the earth will drink, draining it down to the dregs. But I will declare it forever. I will sing praise to the God of Jacob. I will cut off all the horns of the wicked, but the horns of the righteous will be lifted up. Chapter 26. Chapter 76. For the music director on stringed instruments, a psalm of Asaph, a song. In Judah, God is known. In Israel, his name is great. In Salem is his sukkah, and his dwelling place in Zion. There he broke the fiery shafts of the bow, the shield, the sword, and the battle. Selah. You are brilliant, more majestic than nourishing mountains. The valiant have been plundered, they slumbered in their sleep. The mighty could not lift their hands. At your rebuke, O God of Jacob, both horse and rider lay dead asleep. You are awesome, yes, you are. Who can stand in your presence once you are angry? From heaven you pronounced judgment. The earth feared and was still. When God rose up to judgment to save all the humble of the land. Selah. For wrath upon man will bring you praise, a remnant of wrath you put on as a belt. Make vows to Adonai your God and fulfill them. Let all around him bring tribute to the one who is to be feared. He cuts off the breath of princes. The kings of earth are in awe of him. Chapter 77. For the music director on Jeduthun, a psalm of Asaph. My voice to God, and I cried out, my voice to God, and he heard me. In the day of my trouble I seek my Lord. At night my hand stretches out untiringly. My soul refuses to be comforted. I remember God, and I moan. I muse, and my spirit grows faint. Selah. You hold my eyelids open, so I am so troubled I cannot speak. I ponder the days of old, the years long ago. In the night I remember my song. I meditate with my heart, and my spirit is searching. Will the Lord reject forever and never again show favor, and his mercy vanish forever? Has his promise come to an end forever? Has God forgotten to be gracious, or has he in anger withdrawn his mercies? Selah. Then I said, it wounds me that the right hand of Elyon has changed. I will remember the deeds of Adonai. Yes, I will muse about your wonders of old. I will meditate also on your work and consider your deeds. O God, your way is holy. What God is great like God? You are the God who works wonders. You have made your power known among the peoples. With your arm you redeemed your people, the children of Jacob and Joseph. Selah. The waters saw you, O God. The waters saw you and wreathed Even the depths shook. The clouds poured out water, and the skies resounded. Your arrows flashed back and forth. The sound of your thunder was in the whirlwind. Lightning lit up the world. The earth trembled and shook. Your way was in the sea, and your path in the mighty waters, but your footprints were not seen. You led your people like a flock by the hand of Moses and Aaron. Chapter 76. A Contemplative Song of Asaph. Listen, my people, to my teaching. Turn your ears to the words of my mouth. I will open my mouth with a parable. I will utter perplexing sayings from of old, which we have heard and known, and our fathers have told us. We will not hide them from their children, telling to the next generation the praises of Adonai and his strength, and the wonders he has done. For he established a testimony in Jacob and ordained Torah in Israel, which he commanded our fathers to teach their children, so that the next generation might know, even the children yet to be born. They will rise and tell your children. They will put their trust in God, not forgetting the works of God, but keeping his mitzvot, so they will not be like their fathers, a stubborn and rebellious generation, a generation that did not prepare its heart, whose spirit was not loyal to God. The sons of Ephraim were archers armed with bows, yet they turned back in the day of battle. They did not keep God's covenant and refused to walk in his Torah. They forgot his deeds and his wonders that he had shown them. He did miracles in front of their fathers in the land of Egypt, in the plain of Zoan. He split the sea and let them through, and he made the waters stand like a wall. By day he led them with a cloud, and all night with a light of fire. He split apart rocks in the wilderness and gave them drink as abundant as the depths. So he brought streams out of a rock and made waters flow down like rivers. Yet they added more sinning against him, rebelling against Elyon in the desert. They put God to the test in their heart by demanding food for their craving. Then they spoke against God, saying, Can God set a table in the wilderness? See, he struck the rock. Waters gushed out, streams overflowed, but can he give bread? Will he provide meat for his people? When Adonai heard, he was angry. A fire was kindled against Jacob, and fury also rose against Israel, for they did not believe in God or trust in his salvation. Yet he commanded the skies above and opened the doors of heaven and rained down manna upon them to eat, and gave them grain of heaven. Man did eat the bread of angels. He sent them abundant provision. He loosed the east wind in the skies, and by his power he drove the south wind. He rained meat upon them like dust, and winged fowl like sand of the seas. And he let it fall and missed their camp all around their tents. So they ate and were very full, for he gave them their desire. No longer a stranger from their desire, while their food was still in their mouths. The anger of God rose against them and slew the stoutest of them and struck down young men of Israel. Despite all this, they sinned still more and did not trust in his wonders. So he ended their days in futility and their years in terror. But when he slew them, then they sought him and turned back and desired God eagerly. Then they remembered that God was their rock and Elyon their redeemer. But they flattered him with their mouth and kept lying to him with their tongue, for their heart was not steadfast with him, nor were they faithful to his covenant. But he is compassionate, forgives iniquity, and does not destroy. Yes, many times he restrains his anger and does not stir up all his wrath. For he remembered that they are but flesh, a passing breath that never returns. How often they rebelled against him in the wilderness and grieved him in the desert. Again and again they tested God and pained the Holy One of Israel. They did not remember his hand the day he redeemed them from the foe, when he displayed his signs in Egypt and his wonders in the plain of Zoan. He turned their rivers into blood, so they could not drink from their streams. He sent on them flies to devour them, and frogs to devastate them, and gave their crops to the grasshopper, and their labor to the locust. He destroyed their vines with hail, and their sycamore trees with frost, and gave over their cattle to the hail, and their flocks to fiery bolts. He sent on them the fury of his anger, wrath and indignation and trouble, a band of evil angels. He cleared a path for his anger. He spared not their soul from death, but gave their life over to the plague. He struck down all the firstborn in Egypt, the firstfruit of their strength in the tent of Ham. But he brought his people out like sheep and led them in the wilderness like a flock. He led them to safety, so they did not fear, but the sea overwhelmed their enemies. Then he brought them to his holy territory, to the mountain his right hand had gotten. He drove out nations before them and allotted them an inheritance. He settled the tribes of Israel in their tents. Yet they tested and rebelled against El Elyon and did not keep his decrees. Like their fathers, they turned and were treacherous. They turned aside like a faulty bow, for they provoked him with their high places, so they aroused his jealousy with their graven images. God heard and was furious, and he greatly detested Israel. He abandoned the tabernacle of Shiloh and the tent he pitched among men. He gave up his strength into captivity and his glory into the adversary's hand. He gave his people over to the sword, and he was angry at his inheritance. Fire consumed their young men, and their virgins had no wedding songs. Their priests fell by the sword, and their widows could not weep. Then the Lord awoke as from sleep, as a warrior shaking off wine. He beat back his foes, putting them to lasting scorn. Then he detested Joseph's tent and chose not the tribe of Ephraim. Instead, he chose the tribe of Judah, Mount Zion, which he loved. He built his sanctuary like the heights, like the earth that he established forever. He also chose David, his servant, and took him from the sheepfolds, from following nursing ewes. He brought him to shepherd Jacob his people, and Israel his inheritance. So he shepherded them with the integrity of his heart, and led them with his skillful hands. Chapter 79, a Psalm of Asaph. God, the nations have invaded your inheritance, defiled your holy temple, and reduced Jerusalem to ruins. They gave the carcasses of your servants as food to the birds of the skies, the flesh of your kedoshim to the beasts of the earth. They poured out their blood like water all around Jerusalem, and there was no one to bury them. We have become a taunt to our neighbors, a scorn and derision to those around us. How long, Adonai, will you be angry forever? Angry forever? Will your jealousy keep blazing like fire? Pour out your wrath on the nations that do not acknowledge you, on the kingdoms that do not call your name. For they have devoured Jacob and laid waste his country. Do not hold against us the sins of our fathers. May your mercies come quickly to meet us, for we are brought very low. Help us, God of our salvation, for the sake of the glory of your name. Deliver us and atone for our sins, for your name's sake. Why should the nations say, where is their God? Before our eyes let it be known among the nations that you avenge the shed blood of your servants. Let the prisoners groan come to you. By your great arm preserve those who are doomed to die. Pay back in the midst of our neighbors sevenfold their reproach, the reproach they hurled at you, my Lord. So we, your people, the flock of your pasture, will praise you forever. From generation to generation, we will recount your praise.